Have you ever blown it really bad and wondered if God was just fed up with you and ready to turn his back on you? Do you ever wonder if God's patience and grace just runs out? Like when you know what you're supposed to do and you do the very thing that you were warned not to do? God had freed the Israelites from slavery in Egypt, and now they were in the wilderness near Mount Sinai, learning how to follow God. They promised to do all that the Lord asked of them. But when Moses, their leader, was delayed on the mountain with God, the people got anxious and feared. They determined that Moses probably wasn't coming back. And so they asked Aaron, the high priest, and Moses' brother, to make a god for them that would go before them. Aaron asked the people to give them their earrings, and he made a golden calf out of them. He then proclaimed a festival to worship the golden calf. Bad mistake. God knew what was going on, and he was angry. He told Moses to go down the mountain and set the people straight. Moses asked his brother what had happened, and Aaron lied and said he threw the gold in the fire and out came this calf. Then both God and Moses were hot. The people had done what they had been very clearly told not to do. And one of their leaders, the second in command, was right in the middle of it. It is immediately after this great failure that Moses asked God to send his presence before them. Then Moses said to the Lord, "See, you say to me, 'Bring up this people,' but you have not let me know whom you will send with me. Yet you have said, 'I know you by name,' and you have also found grace in my sight. Now therefore I pray, if I found grace in your sight, show me now your way, that I may know you, and that I may find grace in your sight. And consider that this nation is your people." And God said, "My presence will go with you, and I will give you rest." Then Moses said to God, "If your presence does not go with us, do not bring us up from here. For how then will it be known that your people and I have found grace in your sight, except you go with us?" In a great act of grace, God forgave them and continued to go with them. He does the same for us. He will not turn his back on his people when they sin. Rather, when they are trapped in their sin, Jesus stands as our advocate before the Father. He stands up for us when we are guilty and unlovely and makes us clean. In his grace toward his people, he draws near to his children in need. I remember one incident as a missionary in the far east of Russia, where God graced me with a sign of his presence, and it made all the difference. Here's a few pictures from those days, just so that you can be amused. So I needed to take a train trip to the regional capital. This required a 24-hour train ride to the capital and back. And since I was traveling alone, it seemed wiser to me to book an open compartment berth rather than a 4-person compartment with 3 strangers and a lockable door. On the return trip, the person in the bunk opposite mine was a young man who was obviously very, very drunk. He was returning to his hometown for the 1-year anniversary of his mother's death. He was mostly a sleepy, weepy drunk. But the story was that this man had made a disturbance in the dining car earlier. And it was now later in the evening, and the last 9 hours or so of the train trip would be in darkness. The train came to a stop where we could get off for a few minutes and stretch our legs. And as I stepped off the train and turned around, I saw an exquisite, glorious double rainbow. Immediately, the Holy Spirit brought to mind that a rainbow is a sign of a promise of God. God would keep me safe wherever I wandered, in whatever circumstances I found myself in. I got back on the train, confident that I would be just fine. And I was. My good shepherd went with me every step of the way. That's it for today. If you found this video helpful, please share it with someone else. Please subscribe to the channel to help it to grow and so that you'll be alerted when new videos are posted. Bye for now.